Okay, good evening, guys. How are you doing? We're still together. We're still together. It was touch and go for a little while, wasn't it? It was proper touch and go. It was a very, very emotional afternoon in our house, was it not?
I did leave. When Salah scored the second, I left the room because
guys, let me tell you, when that Salah goes in and we are about to nick a win out of nowhere, I'm up, aren't I? I'm up, I'm celebrating, I'm giving it all of this in the air, and you got up and went, I've got to leave the room. You just got up and went out, and you did something totally different in a totally different room, and then I was just like, no, pen.
I was in the kitchen.
And you just come running back in.
I was in the kitchen watching it with my mum. My mum's a Spurs fan, so I went and hid in the kitchen and watched the last bit with her.
Oh, guys, what a game, what a game. We'll do a full debrief of that in a minute. The first thing to tell you is we've had an eventful day, haven't we? Very eventful day. So as well as the football that's been going on, we spent most of the day, we got up crack of dawn, went into London, did the London winter run today. So we both ran a 10k, both did pretty good times actually, didn't we? So
Pibbies all round.
We thought we'd show off our medals.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
There's mine.
Medals. There we go. So that's the FPL family's achievement for today, as well as getting through that Liverpool Spurs game, which is an achievement.
We survived the race and survived the game, and we're
still
married.
To get through that game emotionally that's as big a test of our marriage as I've known today. It was pretty serious. It was pretty serious.
We did sit on opposite sides of the room with our little girl shouting Dele Alli before the match started.
You've brainwashed our children. You've brainwashed our children. Our son now just goes, Harry Kane, and our little girl's got the Dele Alli chants going on. I need to somehow get them to start singing the Mo Salah song from the other week. That's what I need to start doing.
They're not bothered about that. They like Harry Kane and Dele Alli. They've got Spurs shirts. What are you talking about? You've got no chance.
You have put your foot down with this, and I've been absolutely...
How close do we live to Spurs, and how close do we live to Liverpool?
That's true.
Yeah.
But either way, they should be free to make their own choices.
They are.
Oh, and they do.
Right choices.
Right. Okay. Very good. Very good. Before we get into this game week, guys. So we've started completely wrong here. We should be saying this is episode 39 of the FPL family, so welcome along.
Your name is Lee, I'm Sam.
I'm Lee, this is Sam, yeah, we do the usual nonsense. This is a Game Week 26 reaction video, and by goodness me, is there a lot to react to. As well as Liverpool Spurs, we've got all the goings on in the Arsenal game, where we've now got... Okay, we'll talk about the fixtures that Arsenal have got, but we've now got Aubameyang and Mkhitaryan well and truly on that radar. What a game. Everton were bad, right? Everton were bad. Arsenal were very, very good.
But there is one really important thing that should have been mentioned at the very outset of this video that hasn't been.
What have I missed? Go on, what have I missed?
King Rondon.
Ah, yes. Can we all have a salute for Team Rondon? Excellent. So the boys at Who Got the Assist will not be happy about that this game.
We claimed victory in that game.
Did Neom even play? I don't actually know.
I don't care.
Who cares?
Rondon scored.
Who cares? Rondon scored. And actually now, and we'll come to this when we cover the West Brom game, there's now a plethora of options. A plethora of options at West Brom. They've got Sturridge, they've rested J-Rod, they've now got Rondon. There's so much to think about in West Brom's forward line now. It's unbelievable. Before we get into the game week, guys, we're going to say hello to a few people. So, as you guys can see on the screen, this is the FPL Family Twitter handle, at FPL Family. So if you're not following us already on Twitter, get onto there, as well as at FPL Family on Instagram as well. Let's say hello to a few people.
I've been a bit quiet today because we've been out and about, so I've not really said much.
Yeah, I've been a bit quiet on Twitter today, actually, because not only have we been doing the run, and then we kind of come home, saw the kids for a bit, and then it was straight into the game, wasn't it? Cheering the Miljovic penalty, by the way.
Yeah, happy with that.
That was good. And then getting
He was best to miss it, didn't he?
He did, almost a save by Darlow, wasn't it? Almost a save, yeah. So let's say hello to a few people. Thank you for joining, guys. Let's see who's on. So Prashant is here. Prashant, hello. Thank you for joining. Andrew's here. Hello to Lee and Sam. I was looking forward to your first stream after a Liverpool Spurs game. You're absolutely right, Andrew.
We're going to start with Liverpool instead.
We're definitely going to go there first, I think. Jamal's on as usual, so thanks for joining, Jamal. FPL Batman is here. Spencer's here. Cy Greg, Eric Lord, all of our favourites. Thank you for joining, guys. Mike is here. Mats is here. JC, hey guys, what did I miss? Not much, mate. Not much, other than the medals that we picked up at the London Winter 10k today. Any excuse to show them off again. There we go. As well as a little bit of pre-bants for the Liverpool and Tottenham game. But we're going to do proper full-on... We'll get your view, we'll get my view. We'll see who's right about the penalties later on.
The rest was right.
Oh, didn't need VAR today, did he? Didn't need VAR. So Mike is here, Mats is here, Jeff Holt is here. Hello, good evening. How are you doing, Jeff? Who else we got? Leo's on. How are you doing, Leo? Spencer's here. I think we've said hello to already. Spencer. Simon's here. Good to see you as usual, Simon. Thanks for joining. FPL Red Eagle. Go Team Sam.
Oh. See?
Not sure about that, Red Eagle. Not sure about that, fella.
Red Eagle. You can be my favourite this week.
Luke Walkinshaw is here. He says 2 points from his captain, so we're going to find out who that was.
Oh, mine too.
We're going to find out who that was in a bit, Luke.
Utmost sympathy for you.
So tell us who that is.
Share your pain. If it was KDB, I'd share it even more.
I think it might have been Katie, but she might have mentioned that. Kenneth D'Souza is here. It's the first time that he's joining in with our live stream, so thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining. Let's see who else. He says he would have loved to have watched us on some sort of fly on the wall hidden camera.
I thought he was going to say he'd like to be in the room with us when we were watching it. Nobody wanted that.
Well, that's what he's saying. I think that's what he's saying. He wants to be a fly on the wall, which
they couldn't cope. They left.
It was quite serious, wasn't it? It was quite serious. Who else we got? Luke, as usual. Pierce Flannery. Pierce, thank you for joining. Defenders had a shocking game. Oh, terrible defenders.
That.
Absolutely terrible. Garth is here as usual. Thanks for joining, Garth. And right at the top of the shot, first person to join and say anything was Mukhtar Adams. So thank you for joining, Mukhtar. So let's scroll back to the beginning. Let's see what you guys are
In fact, the only defender that would have done me any good this week was my Man United defender who didn't play. Brilliant.
Well, we'll talk about Jones in a minute and his little cold. Bless him. Would have been nice to have 6 points from him, wouldn't it? But never mind. Hazaifa's here. I think hopefully I've said your name Hazaifa correctly. And we've got Jamal saying hashtag Team Sam. Come on, guys. Come on. There's got to be a hashtag Team Lee, even if it's a one out of pity. There's got to be one somewhere. Got to be. Live streaming, you guys watching the game would have been interesting. It would have, Simon. You're absolutely right. It would have. It was quite emotional. So why don't we start with that? Andrew wants to talk about our 10k times. I was 44 minutes, Andrew. You were about an hour and one.
An hour and one.
So I think personal best all round. So it's good times. Good times. John Smith is on. I had Miljovic. Yeah, good stuff. We're going to come to him in a bit. Free babs as well, I think.
Free
bonus points for Miljovic. So awesome. Go on then. So let's get this out of the way then. Let's talk about the game. Let's talk about it. Well, I think that's, it seems like a sensible place to start.
We don't want to go back there again in case it ruins our marrige.
Well, it's not going to, is it? I mean, I think, the emotion about an hour ago was raw. It was raw, but, let's... JC, Team Lee. Thanks, JC. Good man. Go on then. I want to hear, first of all, and guys, keep the chat going, because we want to hear your views on the Liverpool-Spurs game as well, so keep the chat going. We'll come to some of those comments in a minute. I want to hear about what you thought, first and foremost.
I thought the first half, you were incredibly dominant. I thought we weren't in the game. I thought Dele was playing in some sort of weird position that he did not look comfortable in. I thought we were just not very good, and I thought that actually,
second half,
I thought that at the end of that second half, you were unlucky to just be one up. Second half, it was like, I don't know what. I mean, it was almost like Klopp had them running like a fitness test at half time. They came out, they suddenly looked knackered. We looked like we were absolutely got a rocket up the bottom from Pochettino. And we were all over you second half. And actually, say what you will about the 2 penalty decisions, and I'm sure you will. I felt that we deserved a draw out of the game for the way we played in the second half. I actually thought they were both penalties. The first one was a softer penalty for sure, but it is a penalty. Touches him in the box, it's a penalty. Thought the second one was a penalty.
FPL assets for you in that game. You've got Salah, right?
I've got Salah, so he got 15, so that's decent. I got Firmino, who I don't know what happened to him in the second half. He looked
knackered in the second half. To be fair, yeah. First half he was running around like a nutter as usual, and even when Klopp made the substitutes, he freshened it up in the middle and brought off Henderson and Mane, and then he put on Wijnaldum and he put Ox wide, which didn't really work for the Ox. I don't think he's been used to playing in the middle.
Has been very good there as well.
It's been good in the middle, yeah. But for me, I think I know he really likes Firmino, but for me, I think I would have been tempted to take Firmino off for Solanke because he did look, absolutely shattered. Firmino.
Also, obviously had Kane, so missed penalty, scored penalty. From a personal point of view, I thought by the end of the game, to be fair, I think it was the right result. When we were talking earlier today, after the run, I said I thought high scoring draw, and actually that's what we got. I thought it was typical of both the teams. Defensive, sloppy mistakes from both, and good looking going forward from both. So I would agree with a lot of that. I mean, I think... I know you weren't happy about the penalties.
Yeah, but I think, at the time I wasn't happy, but having looked back at them, I think that first one, you've seen them given, right? So I think it's a mistake. Lovren kind of falls over and it kind of deflects into Kane's path. And all the way through it, I think I was saying to you, there's a mistake in this game from someone. There's a mistake, and lo and behold, it's.
You were waiting for it, and then as soon as he did it, you were like, "There it is."
There it is. And actually, Karius comes out, and Karius, maybe there's even a school of thought to say that potentially gets sent off there. I don't know. But Kane goes over, every right to, right? It was soft, but he's every right to. Any striker in that position is going to go over. He's going to get to the ball first. He makes sure he gets clipped. It is a penalty, right? It is a penalty. Then he misses the penalty. So as a non-Kane owner, having done the Kane exit thing, I'm delighted at that.
Obviously. I forgot you don't have Kane anymore.
So I don't have Kane anymore. A lot of people I think I've got him, I've captained him, right? So to not have Kane, I was very happy about that. And then of course Salah, out of nowhere actually, because in the second half, you're absolutely right, the second half, Liverpool were not in the game at all, and I think the tiredness really kicked in. But the tiredness seemed to kick in from like 55 minutes. So I don't know, something not right there. But let's not take away from the Spurs performance. You're right, something changed. I don't know if he changed the system or something, but
Ali
came out.
Positions, didn't he?
He moved Ali, which was the right thing to do, which freed up a bit of space in between the midfield and the defence of Liverpool, and it gave Eriksen little pockets of space. And if there's one player in the league that's great at picking up those pockets, it's Eriksen. And he was far more creative, putting the through balls through, getting it wide, and the crosses were coming in well. So I think Spurs played very well second half, actually.
One thing I will say, on the back of that game, I thought Ali disgraced himself again. Another appalling dive.
Yeah, but he accepted it and accepted the booking.
He did. But as from a fantasy point of view, I think I got off of him this week. As I said I was going to. Got KGB instead, which didn't really work for me. But, actually still got more points than Ali did,
sure.
so fine. I just think that he is becoming the bottom end of the Spurs assets now for a midfield option.
For Ali?
Because you've got
done anything for a bit, has he?
If you want to get, he got one assist last week, didn't he? But if you want the Spurs assets, I'm trying to do it at the moment. Although we're starting to come towards the end of our dodgy fixtures, so if you're thinking about it for game week 28, for me it would be a straight choice between Sonny and Eriksen. I wouldn't be even looking at Ali at the moment.
Okay. So I remember thinking that you've got some tough fixtures. It was United, Liverpool. Who's the next game?
It's Arsenal. It's the North London Derby at 12:30 on Saturday.
And actually, if you'd have been playing Arsenal a couple of weeks ago, that would have been very, very good. But now they've got their tails well and truly up. Arsenal. Is it at Arsenal?
No, it's at Wembley.
It's at Wembley. Okay.
We went there earlier on in the season. They beat us. I think we'll take a lot of heart from what happened in that second half. I think we'll feel quite positive the way the game ended. If you'd have said to me before this run of games started that at the end of the Liverpool game we'd have 4 points out of a possible 6, I'd have been pleased with that.
You'd probably take that.
I would have been pleased with that. I think it's put us in a decent position in the league. It's started to. We've taken some points off you. That gap is starting to shrink a little bit.
Yeah, sure. And I think when it comes to the second penalty, I've seen a few replays actually. My first instinct was, he's gone over a bit easily, but I've seen a few replays. Van Dijk is just too slow to the ball, right? And I actually thought Van Dijk had a very, very good game, guys, by the way. I don't know what you guys Hello guys, sorry about that. That was our useless iOS app that we really need to get a webcam and a proper mic in here, but sorry about that. And thank you for telling us, by the way, in the chat. Otherwise we're just sitting there talking to ourselves for a bit. So I don't know how much of that last bit you guys got. Let's just have a check in the chat. 50p in the metre, Si. Spot on. Absolutely spot on. Don't leave us this way, Jeff. Sorry, Jeff. This is bad. Just when you're talking about the controversial penalties, Klopp killed the stream, Andrew. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like that. Lee was bored during the game, decided to start Netflix again. Yeah, potentially.
Bored of listening to me talk.
So sorry about that, guys. We're back. Hopefully that's the end of the issue. Hopefully. So I was just talking about the controversial penalty, the second one. And again, I think I think Klopp looked emotional at the time. I've seen the replays back. Van Dijk is slow at the ball. He does kick him. It is a penalty. He scores it. It's 2-2. I think that's a fair result. For the sake of our marriage, it's a good result. So let's see what you guys are saying about the Liverpool and Spurs game.
But I think it did throw up some interesting fantasy points as well, though, didn't it?
Yeah, go on then. I've forgotten. This is an FPL thing, isn't it? We need to talk about FPL as well as the actual game.
Well, I think it threw up a few interesting aspects. So I've already talked about Ali. I don't think we need to cover that again. I think that Kane Aguero thing is still raising its head. So yes, Kane missed a penalty this week. He didn't score one. Aguero nothing this week. So that's still playing out. Be interesting to see what happens with Jesus. He's out for a little bit longer now. So let's see what goes on there. But
it's weird, this Jesus thing. He's kind of out for a long time. Then he's not. Then he's out for a bit longer. I don't know what the general consensus is. I think it's sort of 4-ish weeks, 4 to 5 weeks from now. I think. Yeah, from now.
So I think. I think the Aguero Kane thing, it's still not. There's still not been a massive swing in the favour of one or the other, in terms of which one to have. I think for me, it's solidified the importance of having Salah in your team.
You've got to have him. I think it's just don't need to say any more on that.
I think it's watching, for me as a Firmino owner, watching him today. He looked knackered, and so I'm a bit wary that he might get a rest at some stage. I don't know when that will come, but I looked at that game and thought today, actually, I think he needs it. He needs a rest. He needs a week off. But as a fantasy owner, that's a concern. It also, it did make me think about watching Van Dijk in the first half. I thought in the first half he looked really good, really solid.
From set pieces, actually.
But also looked like he was starting to command that defence in the first half. They looked good. He lost the plot. They lost it in the second half when we were good. They lost it again. But that first half, I thought it was the first time in a very, very long time I've watched a Liverpool defence and thought, there's a person that I could potentially have as a fantasy asset, because
he's pointing, like he's saying do this, do that, he's pulling players here and there. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, absolutely. So let's see what you guys are saying, because I think that's just what I was about to do, just as the stream decided to die. So let's have a look. Dom J is saying second pen was given by the lino, not the ref.
Yeah, it was.
I think you're right. Batman is saying if you watch the second penalty from the Lions and it's definitely a pen. I think it is, Batman. I mean, at the time I was, he
was very upset.
I was very upset because it's a 90 whatever minute, right? And I've just gone crazy with the Salah goal, so I'm thinking we've smashed and grabbed it. But I think you're right. If you look at it, it probably is a penalty. Let's have a look. Here. 50p in the meter. I still like that side. That's very good. Leo saying, was it Black Mirror or the baby monitor this time?
It's actually
neither. I think it's just genuinely the app was a bit lame, but we've restarted.
We're going to sort this out. I think we have to buy a webcam when we get 5 minutes where we're not running a race watching a derby.
Let's see. We're back into the. Oh, here's a good question. So Si asked. I saw this just as we were chatting about the Spurs game. Where do you see Lucas Moura fitting into the Spurs side? He's a kind of pacey winger sort of player, I think. I did hear that Neymar was particularly upset that he left Paris, so that tells you something. So kind of interesting to see where he picks. And I apart from Lamela come on today, didn't he? I thought Lamela was actually on his way out in the window, and therefore Moura was going to come in to be that kind of Lamela player.
Well, he is.
Do you see Moura getting a sort of regular start in that side? Where does he play?
I think so. I think that's why he's been brought in. We don't shop in January. We never really do. We never go out and buy somebody. So the fact that Poch's gone out and got him, the last one we did in January, I think, was Ali. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that was the last one we did.
Okay.
Three years ago. And then even then we loaned him out for the rest of the season. He stayed, didn't he, at MK Dons. I think Moura will play. I think.
Do you think he's a good FPL asset to get on straight away, or is it a wait and see?
Well, look, no, I wouldn't get him before the derby. Certainly not. But from game week 28, yes, I do expect him to play. I can't believe that we would buy him in January and him not play.
A lot of people saying Janssen V2.
Do you think?
Hopefully not. I mean, Janssen really struggled, didn't he, when he was at Spurs? I'm hoping that's not the case.
I don't think so. I don't see him going that way. I think Janssen... He was useless, bless him. He tried his best, but he was useless.
He wasn't very good at all, was he?
Let's hope not. I can see him getting started. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me to maybe see him on Wednesday night, because obviously we've got the Cup replay on Wednesday night, so maybe we'll see him then.
Okay.
Let's see. I think it's a waiting brief. No, I certainly don't think get on him right now.
Okay, all right. So I think we've done the game to death there, haven't we? I think we've covered that. Plenty more to talk about. I definitely want to talk about my gamble on Sanchez captain in a sec as well. I want to talk about some of his stats from that game as well. Some interesting statistics. I want to talk about the Arsenal game in particular. I want to talk about me benching Shaqiri, or do I not want to talk about that? I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go and have a look at how our teams have got on this game.
Well, do you know, our teams played out a level playing field draw. And I believe...
How many points are you on?
That our fantasy teams have done identical.
Oh, really?
I've still got a player to play. So you're on 46 with Jones coming off, with Jones and me swapping places. So 47, and I'm on 47 because we're coming off my bench. But I've also still got Alonso to play. Okay, I'm pretty sure Christensen's not going to play. So I will beat you as long as Alonso scores. Oh, look at that defence. I tweeted this the other day, and I think some of you guys are saying the same thing. The defence this year is just like no good, is it? Well, the only team that kept a clean sheet was Man United. Yeah, and then Jones was ill, right? And Jones was ill. So you can't odds that, can you? No, you can't. Salah 15 again, absolute fixture in my team, not changing that. The Sanchez captain, then, I mean, that was my real punt. I mean, I played my wild card last game week, as you guys know, and I did that on the basis that I wanted to get Sanchez. I had a plan to get Sanchez for this week. I just thought that Huddersfield at home game just looked so good. And actually, if you look at some of the stats, there's some really encouraging stuff there. Did his best to scupper it for you, though, missing the penalty, though? Well, he did. And, that's just annoying because, really that should be 5 points rather than 3 or whatever it was. So that is really annoying. He wasn't happy. He actually played well, Sanchez. There was a stat out there somewhere that said he lost possession more times than any other United player has this season. He seemed to play... a bit more forward in this game than he did against Spurs. So in the Spurs game, he seemed to sit back a bit more, whereas in this game against Huddersfield, he seemed to go forward a bit. So I think that was two things. One is that I think Mourinho came out after the Spurs game and said he was playing too deep, so maybe as you're watching him psychologically, you think he's playing a bit further forward. I don't know. But also, Pogba and Martial weren't playing this game week, were they? So that's true. I mean, and for me and for a lot of FPL managers, that was quite a shock actually. I don't think Mourinho was very happy with the Spurs game, the result of the Spurs game. He was very upset. So to drop Martial to the bench, to drop Pogba and put in McTominay. I mean, I haven't seen the highlights. I don't really know how McTominay played. Other than he got absolutely taken out in the box. Should have been a penalty in the first half. Should have been another penalty. I don't know how that kid played versus how Pogba had been playing against Spurs, but Mourinho clearly, that is a statement of intent right there. He's saying no player is big enough that they are guaranteed a spot in this team. No, I think drop that's Pogba, right. I mean, that's a statement. I think that's exactly what he did, and Martial, because Martial's been decent lately as well. So so that opens up a can of worms as a fantasy manager, doesn't it? Because the likes of Pogba had been on my radar for a little while now because he's been decent all season. So do you think it's a statement of intent and he gets back in that team? Well, I should think so. He's got to, it's Pogba. I think so, but it just sort of puts that element of doubt in your mind as a fantasy manager, doesn't it? It does. Because in this part of the season, and I can't remember, somebody I was talking to on Instagram about this, we're getting to that part of the season now where you no longer have fixture congestion in the way you did over Christmas, but you have players that miss games, miss game weeks because teams have got cup finals or this or that. European games are back, right? Yeah. So suddenly you get into a situation where, I want all of my players, including my subs, to be guaranteed in their teams so that if You're not going to tell me Pogba's not guaranteed in that team? No, I don't. I think he is. I think he is. I just think that, it just throws up these elements of doubt, doesn't it? So when I'm looking at, right, well, where am I spreading my bets in terms of Man United coverage or this team or that team? Pogba, I'm still watching him because I still think he's got a good asset. He's a good asset. But then on the flip of that, you've got players like, and we can go there next, the new Arsenal assets.
But I want to finish up on United. So Martial, would you get him in now on the back of him being dropped for this game?
No.
Okay, no, all right. Well, I still think
Would you?
I don't know. Like you say, it leaves an element of doubt. Pogba, if I was looking for somebody that's secured starts, I don't think there's any danger of him getting straight back in that team. There's no way you're going to tell me McTominay keeps him out. But for Martial, maybe, because now you've got Lingard, Mata, Sanchez, Martial, Rashford, whoever else. There's a lot of attacking options there. I'm pretty sure Lukaku's going to keep his spot because he's the main man up there.
He has to be.
And he scored at the weekend, so that gives him a little bit of a reprieve. But there's a lot of attacking options there now, right? And Sanchez has got to be one of them, surely, because he's a Mourinho signing. He's his man that he's bought in.
And you don't spend that much. You don't go for a player like
I know what you're going to say, spend so much, but it's a swap. But you're right, because actually the net of effect of the Sanchez transfer is 100 million because of the wages.
And you don't spend that much on wages, and you don't steal a player off Man City to sit him on your bench. You don't do that. You play him. So Sanchez is going to play. I just think that there's a lot of other really good Man United players in that middle area, Lingard, like the ones you've just talked about. So somebody's got to miss out.
Yeah,
and it's not it's not going to be the same player every week, and that's where my worry comes with Man United now.
Okay, so my Sanchez punt
sort of paid off, didn't it?
Not really. Well, not really. I mean, if he scores the pen, then potentially. I mean, he's dropped a load of BPS because of that missed pen as well, so he therefore didn't get any bonus points. He also lost possession a lot, as I said, so he therefore missed out bonus points. But the eye test was such that he looked quite good. He was getting in dangerous areas.
So you're going to keep him?
I think I am for now, because he's still a differential. People aren't going, I've got to jump on Sanchez. And I still think at some stage he could be explosive. He could easily have got 2 goals at the weekend.
Who have we got next week?
Easily get 2 goals. So United's next couple of games, let's have a look at the ticker.
I know we're not
Thanks to the guys at Fantasy Football Scout.
Preview yet, but let's just have a
so it's Newcastle. So which is a nice game for them,
it's
right?
Definitely keeping
it's
for
nice
that,
game.
definitely.
And then Chelsea, Palace, Liverpool. So it is mixed, but that Newcastle game, I'd like him for that.
Yeah,
I'd like him for that. Am I going to captain him? I don't know. Chelsea at home to West Brom looks nice.
Know.
Well, Chelsea at home to West Brom looks nice.
Who have you got attacking from Chelsea?
Well, I haven't. Because, the way my transfer policy is at the minute, I couldn't bring anyone in at a drop of a hat. I'm just literally just going for it.
You're so funny.
The game that I do like is Liverpool versus Southampton at Southampton. I really like us for that game, but we'll do that in our preview next week or during the week, whenever we decide to do that.
During the week,
But for Sanchez away at Newcastle, I do quite like that as a fixture. So I think I'll be on him there for now. So Sanchez hasn't really worked out. Milivojevic 10 points, happy days. And actually, before that game, I was sitting here cursing because I benched Shaqiri over Milivojevic, even though. So the reason I did that was because I thought Milivojevic, nice game, Newcastle home, he's potentially to score in that game, and he's on pens, etc., etc. My defence, absolute garbage. Let's not talk about that. Aguero, Firmino, Wilson, really bad. I mean, that's just not good, is it? So we'll see. We'll talk about transfers in the next vlog. So yeah, Salah and Milivojevic really saving the day.
Well, same with mine, isn't it?
Let's have a look at your team then.
I've had a terrible week by my standing. It's not gone
well.
The
very high standards that you now set yourself.
Yeah, well, I get annoyed if I get. So I'm literally banking on Alonso getting me like a million
46 as well, right? Okay.
Yeah, well, and me coming off my bench. That's what I said. We've drawn like our teams.
But with Alonso.
But I still got Alonso to play. I mean, I'm...
Ibe 5. He's ticking it over. You see, Don was right. Ticking it over, Ibe, isn't he?
Well, yeah, I think I did say about him, though. It's not like Dom just told me to get him and I've just blindly followed. But no, Dom did tell me I should stand by my convictions, definitely. I think... So the KDB thing has annoyed me.
KDB captain, yeah. Tell us about that.
Basically, I said this to you, didn't I, on Saturday morning when we were driving, and I said I felt very much like I didn't want a captain in that Spurs and Liverpool game. I just couldn't pick it. I thought it would be high scoring, but I didn't know which way it would go.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel I could pick Kane or Firmino or Salah because I couldn't work out in my mind where they're
difficult to know where that game was going to go.
Yeah. And I just felt like if I captained Kane, it would be coming from the wrong place this week. It would be massively heart led.
Okay.
And so I decided what I wanted to do was swap Ali for KDB. I decided that weeks ago. And
KDB over Sterling though this game week, which is kind of interesting. I would have thought if you were going to go for a City asset and you were consolidating rather than chasing, which you are, maybe Sterling was the safer pick, but you fancy something a bit more risky.
It wasn't that really. It was just I really fancied KDB.
He's been performing very well.
I just have been looking at him over the last few weeks, thinking I really want him in my fantasy team. It took a little while of making changes to get to the point where I had the money to do it. I actually still have over $1 million in my bank. So I'm alright at the moment for that. So I've got plenty of money to sort out Elliott and to sort out Kenny, although Kenny did play.
I think his time is limited.
I think
it's time, especially the way they performed at the Emirates. His time is limited.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about this in the next vlog, but Kenny is my next sub. I'm going to leave Elliott for a little while longer.
Okay.
I think, I just felt like KDB had been ticking over the points, assists here, getting involved in the bonus points. I just felt like he was a good option this week. And it's just disappointing to have ended the way it did. Yeah. All
right, so before we check out the FPL Family League, I want to see how you guys have got on. So let's have a look. So Jamal says, Sam, you need to separate your feelings. You knew Salah would get the better of Ben Davies today. He's Team Sam as well. He's Team Sam as well. Can you believe this?
I thought we were friends.
Dom J is saying Sterling missed an open goal. I tell you what.
Oh my God, it was terrible, wasn't it?
That was a miss, wasn't it? That was a miss. We're all counting the points.
It was his reaction to missing it. He missed it, and he stood there. And then just went down like he'd been shot in absolute disbelief that he'd missed it.
And then when Burnley scored, and actually fair play to Burnley. And I tweeted this. I thought they looked, we know Dyche has got them well drilled and
they did
fit,
really well.
They carry on. And there was a stat that flashed up on the screen at Sky that said something like the amount of goals that are scored in the last 10 minutes of the game. Burnley's are right up there with City actually.
Right.
But Burnley are right up there, so they can play for 90 minutes. And Goodmanson, who is a guy that we've shouted him out, and you guys have shouted out actually in the last couple of vlogs as having very, very good underlying stats.
Yep.
There you go. That's why we check out the underlying stats, because he's popped up absolutely the right time. So in actual fact, it was his creativity that was looking good, less his threat, but it just popped up at exactly the right time.
I think Burnley should feel very, very pleased with themselves, and I think I don't think anyone's going to catch Man City, to be honest. But I think it's just nice that they're not running. That there is a bit of a challenge up there. You beat them. Burnley have taken some points off them. It's just making it a bit more interesting.
Okay. So Prashant is saying 51 here. Captain Mo, saved my ass. Nice work, Prashant. Captain in Mo Salah. Nice work.
You did the right thing.
Hope Azpilicueta gives me a clean sheet tomorrow. So he's actually got Azpi still to play.
Well, I mean, surely the Chelsea defence owe us a clean sheet.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
I think so.
Let's have a look what else we're saying here. And
anyone take a punt on some Arsenal players this week?
I'd love to hear if anybody's got Mkhitaryan or Aubameyang in and take a little punt on them. Or Ramsey. Absolutely, or Ramsey. Because
they'll be the high scoring teams this week. Anyone with an Arsenal asset.
I think you're probably right. Should I keep Martial, who only bought this game week, or should I buy Mickey or Walcott?
Oh, that's really unfortunate. If you've just got him for this game week and then he's not played.
It's tricky, that, isn't it? Because we've just talked about how Martial could. Should I keep Martial? Or should I get Mickey or Walcott? I mean, Mickey. I mean, let's do the league, and then I want to come to Arsenal next, because Mkhitaryan and Aubameyang. We've got to talk about those guys, but let's look at the league, because a lot of you guys.
I'm a bit funny tonight, aren't I? I didn't think I was here, but when I look over there, I'm
yeah, sort of drifting this way. Yeah, good. That makes us much better stream actually. Look.
Nobody's. Right, should we have a count up how many team leads we had earlier?
Oh no, 100%. This is better. 100% this is better. Right, so let's talk about the FPL Family League. So a lot of you guys are saying Jamal has had a good week. So
what's he got?
65.
Jamal
smashing it again, back up to 10. Look at this.
Jamal, he did say, didn't he? He had a game plan from game week. Was it 26? He had the game plan from
Pascal Gross, Jamal. That is why Jamal is 10th in the world.
Gross last week, did he?
Pascal Gross.
Is that his transfer?
Bought Gross in this week.
Well, that is epic, Jamal.
That is why we all pray at the shrine of Jamal, because that is serious. That is serious. Salah captain. Oh my goodness.
Never mind team league, team Sam. I think we should be doing team Jamal.
Hashtag team Jamal. And by the way, Alonso, Courtois, and Hazard all still to play.
Oh my goodness.
Against a very, very poor Watford side. So Jamal could. Right, we've got to have a look at this, haven't we?
We've got to have a look at the world. Let's have a look at the world.
How do we do that?
Go up.
No, it's here, isn't it? Overall.
Oh yeah.
10th, Jamal, 1685, and there's a. Look at that. 1686, 86, 88, 92 is possible. 96 is possible.
Flying if Chelsea win tomorrow.
97 is possible, depending on what all these guys are doing, right? I understand that. 17.01 is going to be hard. Listen, that is... Look at the guy who's top. 17.39. My goodness me. So listen, Jamal, absolutely brilliant, mate.
Jamal,
absolutely
FPL
brilliant.
family are proud of you.
We love that, mate. That is superb. That is absolutely superb. So 10th, back up to 10th. After a couple of sticky weeks, I'm sure he won't mind us saying. I think he got down to sort of 20-ish. He did say he had a plan, though,
didn't he?
He got a plan. He's got Pascal Gross in on 13. That is sensational, my friend. Well done indeed.
Yeah.
Well done indeed. All right, so let's go back to... how are we doing for time? I feel like we've been on for a bit already talking nonsense about Liverpool. 40 minutes. Goodness me, guys. 40 minutes. So let's crack on with the rest of the fixtures. You're absolutely right. And we do need to start. We do need to start at the Emirates. So what the hell was going on with that Everton performance? Talk us through that one.
Well, I don't really know what to say about Everton because I'd kind of thought Everton were starting to look like they were recovering a little bit from their little... No, really,
they've been guff lately.
No, I kind of thought that with the transfers that they brought in the transfer window, we might see a little bit of a resurgence from Everton. They got absolute... I mean, quite...
Dom, can I have your autograph, Jamal?
Can I have it too?
Yeah, send it round, Jamal.
I just kind of felt like... To be honest, Everton were lucky that they weren't going in like 9-0 down and at the end of the first half. They were appalling. How they managed to score a goal, I've no idea.
What do you put that down to? I mean, I've got my own theory. Everton... Well, it's the first time that Mangalar's come in and played. And I mean, you can see why Everton have gone for Mangalar on loan, I believe. Tell me if I'm wrong, guys, but I think they got him on loan. You know, he's not settled at City. He came in for a lot of money when he went to City, Mangalar, but he's just really not looked... At all at home or comfortable. He looks very uncomfortable on the ball as well, Mangalar, which in a team like City, you can't have that. You've got to be a ball player. So he's gone to Everton and they just looked... I mean, one interesting, when Liverpool played West Brom in the FA Cup a couple of weeks ago, the fact that Van Dijk hadn't played with Matip and Moreno and a few others, they all looked disjointed and J-Rod just, made the most of it. It looked the same at Everton. Mangala looked like a fish out of water, like they've not really trained together.
Well, they haven't, I don't
And Arsenal just rode that wave that was, the crowd were up, Aubameyang was starting, Mkhitaryan looked great from the off, Ramsey popping out of a hat-trick. I mean, what do you think of these guys as FPL assets now? And let's start with Ramsey, because
let's remove...
a hat-trick from midfield, sensational.
Let's remove the fixtures that Arsenal have got coming up over the next couple of weeks. Take them out of the equation.
That's true,
because their fixtures aren't great for the next couple of games.
Tottenham away and then City at home, so that is tricky, there's no doubt.
They're two hard games. Now look, let's be frank about it. There's no reason why Arsenal can't score at Wembley. However, if we remove the fixtures entirely, I think you've got to look at those assets just in comparison to what else is in the market at that same sort of price bracket. For me, Mkhitaryan in that game looked like somebody I absolutely have to have in my fantasy team.
It did. I must admit, I got to the end of that game and I think he got 3 assists, I think.
He did, yeah.
And I'm thinking 7-7.
And 2 bonus points.
What a bargain. And what's he got in front of him? His best mate, who he's used to assisting. I think he did assist him for Aubameyang's goal. You looked alongside him, you looked to the right and he's got Ozil, who looked, bang on it again.
He was back to being Ozil, wasn't he?
And just behind him, he's got Ramsey bombing on. It's just all around him, and he's just orchestrating it all. I thought he was phenomenal
with
at the
another
weekend.
assist, he clocks up the points.
Mustafi with an assist. Did he get an assist?
Yeah, he got an assist. So he's been cracking up the points the last few game weeks. I think if Arsenal had better fixtures than they do in the next 2 game weeks, that would 100% be the transfer that I made this week. Forget the Kenny situation. I'd get...
And if you had to choose either Ramsey or Mkhitaryan...
I'd get Mkhitaryan at the moment.
Do you reckon?
I think Ramsey...
That's interesting, isn't it?
I just feel like Mkhitaryan's just arrived. And look what he did in that game. Ramsey's been there a while. He knows what he's doing. He plays in that team.
Okay, interesting.
For me, what can Mkhitaryan and Aubameyang do together once they've been training together and playing together regularly? If they can annihilate Everton in the way that they did.
I tell you, it was interesting though. I mean, the Everton backline was poor, but all right. So you've got these guys all, and I'm a big fan of this. We do it at Liverpool. We try to, move defenders around. Move defenders around. It creates space for the guys coming through. And I thought, Mkhitaryan, Aubameyang, and Ozil, particularly those 3, move the defence around so much. The Everton defenders were so concerned about that. They just didn't see Ramsey coming up half the time.
No, they didn't.
And he's popping up left, right and centre. So
he was loving it.
I actually fancy Ramsey as much as Mkhitaryan right now. I think Mkhitaryan's got assist potential, but I think Ramsey's got real goal potential in that sort of Frank Lampard arriving late in the box.
Okay, so I think we all agree that actually the Arsenal assets look really frightening, and from a fantasy point of view, they look like they could be massively important.
So let's just go to...
But do we get them now? I think that is the key question.
Well, let's just go to the chat for 2 seconds. There's some really great points in here from you guys. So quite right, I'm getting on Ramsey quite a lot, quite emotionally there. FPL Boss, thank you for joining FPL Boss. Absolutely saying, I think it's FPL Boss is saying this. It could be rotation risk. You know, Wilshere, sometimes injured, sometimes not. It's hit and miss, isn't it, with him? But when he's fit,
Mkhitaryan's going to play.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm saying Ramsey and Wilshere are going to be rotated potentially.
But Mkhitaryan will play, so you know, don't get Ramsey, get Mkhitaryan.
Well, yeah, okay. I think he's a million more, right?
Or you know.
So Vinyl Rich is here. Richard, thank you for joining me. He's saying Ramsey has proven FPL world as long as he's injury free. So he's got. I think he's right. He's got the same issue there as Wilshere, right? Those guys are so injured all the time. Let's see what you guys else are saying.
But I still have this real quandary. I mean, the derby's a derby. Anything can happen in a derby. But Man City, I don't know.
So Jamal's saying I fancy Arsenal. He's fancy Arsenal too. I don't know whether you're saying though Jamal he fancies two from Arsenal or whether he fancies Arsenal as well. Do you know what I mean? I think two Arsenal players may be overdoing it, but you know it's Jamal saying this, so I'm not going to say anything.
Whatever Jamal says, I think you should take note. In fact,
but Dom J is saying Arsenal tough fixtures till 29. There's no doubt. There's no doubt.
I think that's right, and that's why for me. I think I'm going to wait on Arsenal assets. As much as it pains me and as much as I could miss out on some points over the next couple of game weeks from them, I just feel like with their fixtures the way they are, their players aren't fixture proof, I don't think. So I just think it's a wait game, and I might miss out on some points. But there are some other players out there with really decent games over the next couple of game weeks, which I think I'd rather have. I think I
agree with FPL Boss. I think I agree with you. It's a wait. However, Boss is saying if you're gonna get on anyone early, it's probably Mkhitaryan. I think I'll go with that.
I think Boss is right. Yeah, I agree.
I do like Aubameyang though, and I thought he was very very good in the game. He's probably offside for his goal. It's marginal, but you know, actually, I don't. Was that the one that was marginal, or was he miles off? I think he might have been miles off.
He was off. He was definitely off.
He was offside. Nicely taken goal either way, right? And to be fair, could have had more than 9. So for me, I'm just reining it in a little bit because Everton was so bad.
Yeah.
So that's the Arsenal game done. Mkhitaryan, if you want to get in there early,
I think that's right.
Keep a clean sheet, can they? Did Calvert-Lewin score?
Yeah.
Calvert-Lewin,
I mean,
back from the dead.
Dire, so I don't know how that even happened.
Still can't keep a clean sheet, can they? So I'm not sure I want to get any of their defenders.
No.
Right, next game.
What else do you want to talk about? Vardy again. Vardy getting another goal. He's ticking them over lately at the moment. So if the Firmino thing continues to be an issue with this being tired malarkey that you look like today, then maybe that
Vardy seemed to miss Mara as much, did they? They sort of they grind it out a little bit, didn't they? Swansea are sort of not looking too bad. Do you think Fernandes, I mean, you know, looked a reasonable threat from set pieces in that game?
I've got enough Swansea assets. I've got AU. I don't want any more.
one is more than enough.
Well, I don't want any more because I don't credit where credit's due to Swansea. The last 3 games they've done very very well, but for me, I don't feel confident enough that I want more than one Swansea asset.
Okay, all right. Let's talk about the Bournemouth game. So Bournemouth beat Stoke 2-1.
Yeah, Jordan.
Bit disappointed with Shaqiri on the bench, but it is what it is. Ibe for you got an assist, I think. Nothing for Callum Wilson. A lot of people drafted in Callum Wilson this week.
King got the goal,
didn't he? Even captaining him. Some people.
Really? People captained him?
A few Wilson captainers out there as a sort of bit of differential. I think I saw enough of those guys going forward that I'm not too worried about Wilson. I don't, you know, given that they've got some really nice fixtures coming up, I don't think I'm getting off of Wilson. And clearly you're staying on Ibe. I would have thought he's been great for you, isn't he?
I'm definitely staying on Ibe. At the moment, I'm thinking about the Kenny to Charlie Daniels transfer. That was in my plans for this week.
Kenny to Daniels.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because Bournemouth in that game, do you notice when Steve Cook got injured, they had to change. So they had the 3 at the back and they had the wing backs, and Daniels had the licence to bomb forward. As soon as Steve Cook got injured, they didn't really have anybody to come in and replace him. So Eddie Howe had to go to a flat back 4. So Fraser and Daniels were kind of sitting there and not bombing forward as much as they were. So for me, I think I want to see, because I think Cook could be out for a bit. I think he got a bit of a bad knock. So I want to see, I think, how Bournemouth play in their next game. And let's have a look at who that is against. away at Huddersfield. So that's a decent game, I think, to have a look at how Daniels in particular gets forward or not in that game.
I don't know. I just.
But look, listen, it's not a bad shout because Bournemouth's fixtures look good. Huddersfield, Newcastle, Leicester, Spurs is a difficult game, and then West Brom at home. So I think you can complain with that.
Yeah, well, Charlie Daniels has been known to score a worldie every now and then.
And you love him as well. You love Charlie Daniels.
I do love Charlie Daniels. I do.
I did spot something on Twitter the other day, I think maybe yesterday or today, that said, may even have been off FF Scout actually, that Charlie Daniels and Bournemouth have only got 2 clean sheets in their last 13 home games.
Is that right?
So I'm not backing.
Goodness.
If you're going to get
nobody
Daniels,
got clean sheets this week, really, didn't they?
Yeah, true. But if you want Daniels, don't expect immediate returns. It might be one you have to stick with for a bit.
But then, having said that, I often only play 3 defenders anyway. So I often only play Jones, Alonso, and Otamendi, which means that Charlie Daniels would effectively be benched most weeks. But he's a better bench option than Kenny, who's not going to play.
That's true. Oh, if it's Kenny that you're getting rid of, that does make some sense.
So that's where I sort of am at the moment. We can talk about this a bit more in the week when we come
What about the Palace and Newcastle game? What did we make of that? Nice points from Miljovic. Happy with that?
Yes, very happy with that.
Kennedy hauled off before the hour. Did you notice? Which was interesting. In a bit of a switch of tactics from Rafa, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think where Palace are concerned, it does appear to be Millie. Although also you got to give credit again to Benteke. He got another assist today. He assisted that.
I think you do because he got the assist for the penalty. It is soft, that penalty.
But it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
from a fantasy point of view, it doesn't matter.
He missed chances though. He missed a lot of chances, Benteke.
Yeah, I agree. But I think in that third striker option, he's been racking up the points week in, week out lately. So potentially that is an option that's available. I think Benteke gets overlooked a lot at Palace.
He's a good differential, but I don't think you're getting him in ahead of Callum Wilson, eh? Or maybe even AU.
Probably not, but.
And is Benteke getting up there into sort of Vardy territory as well? So I think there's better options out there than Benteke. But he's not bad if you want. He's last few game weeks actually. He's been ticking points over. He's been getting assists and getting bits and pieces of points, which all add up, right? If you look at him over the last 5 game weeks, you add up his points. Actually, don't look too bad.
No, I agree.
If he'd done 4 blanks and a hat trick, we'd all be going, well, he got that hat trick.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm with you.
And I think Millie, he's going to be staying certainly. He's doing well for me at the moment. So yeah.
Okay. West Brom 2, Southampton 3. Our man Salman Rondon getting the goal for West Brom, which is good. But Southampton finding 3 goals from somewhere, which is pretty amazing.
I mean, Southampton fans, I must admit, to when first West Brom goal went in, I went, well, same old Southampton. Actually, what I didn't ever expect is the comeback that they did. Ward-Prowse again.
They've had a couple of decent-ish results now for Southampton.
They have.
We've actually got to play them next at Southampton. I wonder if that's. I think so because I think Southampton.
Van Dijk got to go back there.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, it's interesting that he's got to go back there as well as half of our team, right? But actually, it's kind of interesting that if the Saints have got a couple of good results, that might give them a bit of confidence to want to attack us. That'll play into our hands, I think, if they do that. But listen, I think they're great from set pieces. So Ward-Prowse delivers a fantastic free kick.
Assist and a goal today.
And that's 2 goals in 2 game weeks now for Stevens as well at the back for Southampton. So listen, I'm not I'm going there. I think we're going there reasonably quietly confident, but by no means an easy game. Not at all. No, not at all.
Ward-Prowse. I mean, we both had him at the beginning of the season, didn't we?
I had him for a bit. Yeah, I had him for a bit, and then it felt like a bit of an uninspiring thing. And then actually, I think Lamina also scored the other goal this weekend, I thought he was going to come in to replace Ward-Prowse, but actually they seem to have played together. I find Lamina a bit hit and miss, but when he hits, he's very, very good. Lamina.
3 bonus points.
He's a really, really good player. When he wants to turn up on his day, I really, really like him.
Yeah,
whether I'd have him as an FPL asset, I don't know.
I think I'd go Ward-Prowse actually over Lamina. If I had to choose between the two of them. Mostly because he's cheaper, and I think hits the set pieces as the Saints fans. I think Cy Greggs is a Saints fan. He'll tell us otherwise if not. But Ward-Prowse is pretty good at delivering those set pieces. So if he's on free kicks and corners, he's worth looking at. I also think he's an enabler, isn't he, Ward-Prowse? That's why we had him at the beginning of the season. So it's offering another alternative to. I mean, I've got Ibe and I'll be sticking there, but. It's an alternative to those other players, isn't it? The likes of Ibe, Millie. They just allow you to to have the more big hitters in your team. They're what are currently allowing me to have KDB and Salah and Kane and everybody else.
And speaking of players that we've had once upon a time in our teams, Higazi actually was one that we kind of had a look at the beginning of the season. Has done nothing for a few weeks.
We talked about him for a long time, didn't we?
Suddenly got the goal out of nowhere. So
2 assists from Brunt.
2 assists from Brom. Nothing for Sturridge again, but I think eyes on Sturridge. You're starting to look at the options they've got up there with J-Rod being rested. You've got Sturridge and you've got Rondon there. You kind of get the feeling that Pardew there likes to play at least 2 of those, doesn't he? He likes to play 2 of those.
He feels like he likes 2 strikers,
I think
which is actually quite unusual, isn't it, in the Premier League at the moment? Most teams seem to be playing 1 up top with a lot of quality in the midfield, whereas West Brom seem to be sort of bucking the trend at the moment and playing 2 up top every game, which from a fantasy point of view is not necessarily a bad thing, because actually you don't have... They didn't say it about them, did they? Said it about Bournemouth and this abundance of riches, as they call it. Lots of striking options that they could play.
Yeah.
So in the past with West Brom, it's perhaps been a case of, well, actually, do I want to take a punt on one of them because they might not play, or they might get rotated. Whereas actually, if they're going to play 2 every week, that risk is much more reduced.
No, I think you're right.
I think there's still better options for a third striker with the likes of Callum Wilson and Ayew, but. If you're chasing the game and you need a differential, then why not?
Why not? Yeah, why not? Okay. And then the final game, which of course is tomorrow night when Chelsea go to Watford. How do you feel about that game? I mean, I've got Christensen, but he's not going to play. You've got Alonso. Jamal's got Hazard, Alonso, and Courtois.
Well, if I'm Jamal, I'm loving life going into that game.
Well, listen, Watford have been bad, right? So actually, how do you feel about the game? I think Chelsea will find a way to win that. I just don't see that Watford have got anything like a game plan right now. They go into games and they just look like headless chickens until Grazia, I think you pronounce his name, can enforce his personality on the team and get them playing in a way that he wants to get them playing. And by the way, he might have done that in the last few days and last few weeks and days on the training pitch, and they might be a great side at home at Chelsea. But I just think Chelsea will play Giroud. That will put Hazard back where he wants to play. I think Giroud will be good for Hazard as well. So people that are captaining Hazard, of which there are a few, I think on Twitter this game week, in for some points. I think in for some points.
I would certainly hope that Alonso will get me a clean sheet. I mean, Watford have been pretty poor lately, so I would hope for a clean sheet from him. And with Alonso, there's always the opportunity that he's going to pop up with something magical, because that is just what he does sometimes.
Okay.
I'm quietly confident of some extra points. I would like to finish the game week on more than 50. That would be nice, which relies on Alonso doing something, keeping a clean sheet, getting a goal.
Okay. And so Joe Findlay Badder, thanks for joining, Joe. He's saying Watford will keep it tight with our new manager. So we've got a Watford fan joining the stream. So interested to see what you think the score will be tomorrow, Joe.
I think they will. I think on new managers, you always have that element, don't you? With when your team brings in a new manager, there is that wanting to play for them thing that comes about in the first few games. People wanting to show that they're decent, but it's Chelsea.
Plus, you've got to remember, Grazia's come in and he's got what I think and presume is a quite a tired squad. I think Silva flogged them to death first half of the season. Like Richarlison was knackered, wasn't he, after Christmas?
Yeah.
So Grazia's come in, and if he's got, I don't know what his training philosophy's like, but if he comes in with I want to get them fit and work them hard in training, they're going to be knackered at the weekends, aren't they? Absolutely knackered.
I think it's just a waiting game with Watford, but I do think Chelsea will be too much for Watford tomorrow night.
I do too. So let's have a very quick look ahead to the next game. Let's pick out a couple of games. You've got Spurs and Arsenal, clearly a very good game.
The other thing to say is obviously there's midweek fixtures this week, not Premier League, but Cup replays.
Oh, is it FA Cup replays or Carabao?
FA Cup. So Spurs are playing Northampton.
No, you've got Newport
County,
yeah.
Wednesday night. It's all those replays from the other night. So
okay. Hold your transfers for a couple of days potentially.
I think so. I think that's what.
Do you think that's the general strategy now? Do you think people are generally holding their transfers now?
I don't think there's any strategy with this transfer business at the moment. People are up and down, left, right, and centre.
It's been a funny one, isn't it, this year?
You can't keep track of it. Honestly, it's terrible. And then they say they're not going to drop, and then they drop overnight. You think,
it's been
so
tough.
Frustrating.
It's been tough.
I think my strategy, and I don't know whether I play it right or not, but for me, I'll be waiting until after Wednesday night's fixtures are finished, in order that I can make sure that I don't I don't have a bigger injury. I don't think I will, but in order I don't have a bigger injury problem that I need to deal with than dealing with Kenny, because Kenny could wait.
Yeah.
So for me, it will be a waiting game just to double check that everything's okay. So just moving forward, I think it's just something to watch, particularly as we're going to start, as Dee said earlier, getting back into that part of the season where the Champions League and Europa League start kicking back off. So,
early thoughts on the transfer then, Kenny? You've got to sort out, have you, with your 1 million?
I think it will be Kenny to Daniels, this week, or I might do Elliot to. I don't know. I was looking at Butland as my second keeper.
Okay.
Pickford, or somebody along those lines. I'm not sure yet.
I haven't really put much thought into it. Clearly, we will before we come to you with our next vlog in the next few days. But I do fancy Liverpool at Southampton. Do fancy that. What else we got? Bournemouth away at Huddersfield. I quite fancy that because Huddersfield are in dire straits right now, and the I don't know. Will the Huddersfield faithful allow them to just sit and soak up another game like they did against Liverpool? I got to think they've got to go for that, and that's going to. The Stanislas, Ibe, Wilson triangle that seems to be working well for Bournemouth right now.
Obviously, we've got the London Derby.
The London Derby, Spurs, Arsenal. I don't know if I fancy captaining anybody in that game because, again, that's a difficult game to call, isn't it?
It's very hard to call that one. Anything could happen. It's a derby at the end of the day.
City and Leicester. I fancy points there for City again. Hey, look. Let's have a think about our transfers and our picks for the next few game weeks, which
Thursday
is
night?
What we're going to do. Yes, I think probably Wednesday or Thursday. Might actually be out Thursday night, so it could actually be Wednesday. Don't know.
Ow!
Don't know. Yes, might be going out. Have I not told you about that?
No, because you're out on Wednesday night as well. Because I can't go to Spurs because you're out on Wednesday night. Does anyone want to babysit our kids so I've got tickets for Spurs? I can't go because Lee's out.
What am I doing Wednesday? Oh, I am out Wednesday.
Yeah, you're out Thursday
out Wednesday,
as well.
That's true.
Right, so you'll see me on my own. If you're Team Lee, don't bother tuning in the week.
Actually, might have got my days mixed up. Might be I'm out Wednesday and not Thursday. You got very passionate about that then for a second, didn't you? It's because
What's more important, talking fancy league with your wife or going out?
Well, talking fancy league with you, dear. Clearly.
Don't call me dear.
Look, we've already fallen out a number of times in that second half today in the football. Let's not fall out again, especially live on YouTube. That would be terrible. That would be terrible.
I'll give you a hug later.
Great. Right. I think that is it for tonight, guys.
We'll
Thank
be
you
back
for joining us.
at some point in the week. We will both return.
I think it's going to be
nonsense.
Thursday. I think I've got my days wrong. Wednesday, I'm definitely out with work. Thursday might be around. Actually, the reason I think I might be out on Thursday is because I think that it might be the day. No, it's not. That's next week. I'm actually meeting Nick from Who Got the Assist. Apparently he works in the office around the corner from me, so I'm meeting him for a beer. But I think that is actually next week. So with that, John is saying the stream is lagging again. So I think with that is our cue to go. So thank you for joining us, guys. If you're not already, follow us on Twitter at FPL Family, as well as Instagram at FPL Family. Give this video a like if you liked it this evening. Make sure you subscribe as well. Thank you to those that are already subscribed. And again, we will see you on Thursday next week. We think, depending on my social calendar. Good night, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Take care, guys. Have a great one.